Hello everyone, welcome to CricPunts with Fasi. It's the end of day 3 and it's another day dominated by the England team. They have a strong hold on this test match and we are looking at a potential defeat for the Indian team. India ends the day at 257 for 6 and trail by 321 runs, and more importantly, they need 121 runs to avoid the follow on. I mean, I've been saying it for the last 2 days that the pitch will crumble in the last 2 days, especially from the day 3, and will start playing a few more tricks, and it will start to spin a bit more, and that has exactly what happened today. Roughs on either side of the wicket, puff of dust rising every time the ball pitches, and it'll only get tougher to bat on in the next 2 days. Right, so let's start with the beginning. England ended their first innings with 578 runs on the board. Bumrah and Ashwin picked one wicket each to end their 190 over nightmare for India. And then came out the Indians for their response, and you could see the fatigue in their body language, and they were met by a very fiery Jofra Archer. What seemed like a dull pitch when Indians were bowling suddenly came to life when Archer had the ball in his hand. He bowled at some good pace and got the ball to move off the pitch. India wanted their opponents to blunt the new ball, but Archer had other plans. He got Rohit early. He poked at a short ball moving away. Looking at the replay, he could have easily not played at that ball. And then his partner Gill played some sumptuous shots, and he looked like $1 billion, but played one shot too many and perished to an amazing catch by Anderson. That's some agility for a 38-year-old man. And I don't know why, but I felt that India showed a bit of urgency when they came to bat. They were scoring around 4 to 5 runs an over, and I don't really know why, if that was a predetermined plan or it just happened like that. But that aggression led to them losing 2 quick wickets, the openers, which is exactly not what India wanted at the start of their innings. And yes, there was turn and bounce on the pitch, but it was no minefield to bat on. India didn't apply themselves well on this wicket, and their shot selection was a bit off. Which is what led to their downfall in the first place. And the pick of the bowlers for me from England were Dom Bess and Jofra Archer. Especially Dom Bess, who bowled beautifully today. He bowled consistent line and length and used the rough patch outside off stump very well to the right-handers. Especially against Virat. That was a very well set up wicket. He kept bowling wide of the wicket and pushed one ball even wider, and he pitched it on the rough and made it come back sharply, which dragged him away from the body and took an inside edge to the bat pat fielder. That was a very important wicket for the England team. Joe Root was very good with his captaincy as well. He was very good with his bowling changes, and he was constantly rotating the bowlers and bowling them in short spells, especially considering the heat which they were bowling in. Those short spells helped in keeping the bowlers fresh even when they were coming at the end of the day. And the England bowlers used the leg cutters especially to a good effect on this pitch. There was no movement in the pitch when Indians were bowling, but they were using the cutters very well and taking the ball away from the right hand batsman and making life difficult for the Indian batsman. Anderson was his miserly self again. He didn't give away too many runs, even though he didn't pick any wickets, but he kept it tight from one end. He didn't give away any freebies, and he got the ball to reverse a bit. He was covering the ball with one hand so that he'll not let the batsman know which side the shiny side is. For people who don't know, when the ball is old and scuffed up on one side, the ball starts to move on the shiny side, creating problems for the batsman. That is called the reverse swing. And then came the fight back from Pujara and Rishabh Pant. Pujara, well, he did what he does best. It's not at all surprising to see him playing in that fashion. His determination is just off the roof. He's so good, especially his footwork against the spinners was a delight to watch. He plays a bit old school. He comes down the track and pats the ball away, unlike the new generation players. But the way he was coming down the track and caressing the balls through the covers and mid-wicket was just brilliant to see. And then Rishabh Pant, well, he did what he does best, counter-attack. Watching Rishabh Pant bat like that is like watching an edge of the seat thriller. Your heart is in your mouth. Especially the way he hit Jack Leach was so much fun to watch. The ball was spinning sharply from the rough, and to negate that, Rishabh Pant was standing on the off stump, and he went down the track constantly and getting close to the pitch. What that does is that takes the spin out of equation, because when you're close to the pitch of the ball, it doesn't matter, you're not giving the ball enough time to spin, and he just donked the ball all over the ground. Even though there were fielders on the boundary, the fearlessness in his cricket is a sight to behold. And one thing I've observed in Rishabh Pant of late, especially from the Australian series, is that he has found a good balance between attack and defense. Unlike before, he's not going after every ball, and he's choosing the ball well to attack. He's playing the field. He's not just throwing away his wickets. And yes, he missed out on another 100, but you can't really blame him for getting out the way he did, because when you live by the sword, you die by it. And well, and the way Puji got out was just so unfortunate. It was a real freak dismissal. I mean, it was a nothing shot ball from Dombes, and Puji just middled the hook shot. But to his bad luck, the ball just hit the shoulder of the bat pad fielder and lobbed up straight to the mid wicket. He was so frustrated, and rightly so, because he was playing so well. He was looking so set. And India just suddenly lost two quick wickets. There's some solace for Indians, because Washi and Ashwin played well and made sure India didn't lose another wicket by the end of play, which will really frustrate England, because they need enough time to get the last 4 wickets and then take another 10 wickets to make a match out of it. But yeah, India are in big trouble. They need something special. So the big question is, will England enforce the follow on if they have the chance? Because if they do that, then their bowlers will not get any rest, and they'll be in for another hard toil in the hard sun, especially considering that they were on the field for this whole day. But there is a brighter side to it, because they'll get enough time to bowl India out again in the second innings. But if they choose to not enforce the follow on, and if they bat again, they'll give the bowlers a much needed rest. But they can't really bat for long, as they need at least a minimum of 4 sessions to get India out in the second innings. So it's a very tricky situation, and the way I see it, I probably think they would like to get the 4 wickets early tomorrow and bat a couple of sessions, and then put India into the second innings again after tea. That is the way I see it, but it'll be very interesting to see what happens. But hey, just don't rule this Indian team out just yet. I mean, we know how they play when the odds are stacked against them. We've seen that before in the Australian series. They just need to bat, and bat, especially this pair, because see, the longer they bat, the more frustrated England gets, because their bowlers are getting tired in the sun, and also Indians are eating away precious times which England could use to bowl India out again. So the tactic for Indian team for the next 2 days is they need to bring out their inner SCG from the Australian tour and draw this match. Wow, we are in for an interesting finish for this test match, guys. Can India show some more fight tomorrow, or will it be another day bossed by England? Tune in tomorrow after the end of day's play to find out. Till then, like, share.